Many yogis and mystics choose never to speak, never to teach. They will leave their work in a different form. As you have an internet, there is a yogic net. You can always access it. There isn't another place which has seen as many See, if you work with your body, if you use your muscle and work, the lifespan of your work is of a certain length. It dies after that. All the billions and billions of people who lived on this planet before you and me came here, where is all their work? All they have left is their reproduction. Beyond that, nothing else is there. If you work with your body, the span of that work is only that much. If you work with your mind, then the span of that work is little more, it extends itself. But if you work with your life energies, that dimension is forever. Even if the planet goes away, that will not go away. As you have an internet, there is a yogic net. If you are willing, you will see Gautama, the Buddha, is not 2,500 years ago, he is just today. He is alive today as he was 2,500 years ago. Only thing is now, he doesn't have the burden of physical body. The physical body is a restriction. Whatever comes through a physical body, you will have likes and dislikes with it, isn't it? So, once free from the physical process, it becomes even more empowered and effective. Many yogis and mystics choose never to speak, never to teach, but their longing to share is not any less. So, they will leave their work in a different form. There are many places like this, the Vellingiri mountains, very powerful. If you go up to the seventh hill, anybody been there? If you go there, a very powerful place, some yogis left that situation in such a way that the whole place vibrates so much. If you go there, if you're a little sensitive, it'll shake you from the root of your spine. Like this, there are many places. If you're open to it, if you're sensitive and receptive to it, whatever these yogis were, all their life's work and their tradition is simply left there in a different form. You can always access it. In that sense, Himalayas is too rich, too saturated. The surrounding areas of Kedar, Yukteswar and other places have witnessed so many beings. The mystical dimension of Himalayas preserved there in so many ways. Many, probably no other place in the world. Every part of the world has places where certain people have left certain energies in certain situations around them, which will always be there. But I've traveled everywhere, there isn't another place which has seen as many mystics as Himalayas has witnessed. No other place on the planet. If you're sensitive to it, it's not just a mountain, it's something else. It's not your belief. I'm not talking about believing Himalayas are sacred or whatever. So the very reason why we take people into the mountains is to make them experience the mystical dimension of the Himalayas. We are not a tourist company. If you go there by yourself, the enormity of the mountains, the natural beauty of the mountains is so overwhelming that you will just be gaping at every rock and every peak, because it's much more than your eyes can grasp. It's very difficult for you to understand what's Himalayas, even physically. Right from my childhood, I had seen many photographs of Himalayas, I had seen many documentaries about Himalayas. I had a huge picture of Himalayas in my mind, but the first time I went there, everything that I had in my mind was shrunk. What is actually there is far bigger than that, you know. It's very difficult even to take it all into your mind. So if you go there, generally the physical Himalaya itself is too overwhelming. It puts you down to your size. You'll become a small little human being, you know, like an ant you'll become. Once you go and stand in front of Himalayas, you feel like an ant crawling up on the earth. But the mystical dimension will be missed because you'll go about gaping at the beauty of Himalayas. So, the very purpose of taking people on a trek like that is so that they can have an experience of a completely different dimension. If I could explain what is the basis of these experiences. It's been a place which has been graced by many wonderful beings. Wherever they go, they leave their eggs. That's their way of life. If you leave your eggs in Bombay or in New York City or anywhere else, people will trample on it and go, because they won't have the sense to recognize what's been left around. So the yogis also, people who have the privilege and the burden of carrying a dimension which is not in the experience of common people, also wherever they sit and stand, they lay their eggs. But why they always move to hilly regions, certain spaces which are identified as sacred, is simply so that these eggs are not trampled upon, but rather experienced, made use of, so that something will fly out of it. So, if you have been initiated in a certain way, you become open to a certain aspect of experience. There are so many other things there which you are not open to. But if you are initiated in a particular way, you become open to that particular dimension.